the sheer facticity of existence is uncanny. But that uncanniness is an invitation. That uncanniness is an invitation to think after what's actually going on. And what's very important to me is, is memory. It is the shared, if you like, in English, I think, guess you could say something like a shared sense of memory that's larger than just my memory.
Mhm.
Now I'm gonna be leaping around a bit now, so apologies for that. But when you think of how transhumanism, for example, tries to sell us immortality, which would mean that all our memories get shared in the cloud and that that's a copy of yourself. That's probably not how I would think how memory works. I think that memory is much larger. It's shared. There's a an extended self that you are thrown into, and you share in that a sense of memory that we are being cut off from because we are basically encapsulated, isolated, pinned down just on us, just me. And it's just my subjectivity that matters. I'm the ground of my world. Transformation is just about optimizing myself in order to get better, in order to achieve this and that. But it's never, or not often at least, getting back to a certain sense of understanding again what are the fundamental questions of, for example, existence.
Mhm.
And if we do so, and that would have to accept, however, finitude and death, and also certain powerlessness, not an entire powerlessness, but to a certain degree of powerlessness in the face of existence itself. So
So that's interesting. So there's two things I want to bring up on about that. So a question is a relationship between Heidegger's sense of the uncanny and Otto's sense of the numinous, which Chris and I talk about quite a bit. They're both post-Kantian, so it's not completely irrelevant.
yeah,
And then the, what what that has to do with, again, with this thing I'm talking about, the sacredness, because presumably the sacred would do exactly what I said. It would give you the psychological mattering that puts you into the correct existential mode of aspiration, right? That then also gave you a sense of an affordance of self-transcendence that wasn't just subjective projection, that was in some set had some kind of connectedness to reality to it. And so that's, again, helps me to sharpen that a little bit. And so what role does is the uncanny like the numinous, or are they just different ways of the same thing? And then what do, again, what that has to do with collective memory, because one thing I see religions doing, and this has come out in my discussions with Paul Vanderklay, is they represent a distributed cognitive memory of encounters with the sacred.